That evening, Thomas told Percy to stop surprising his friends. "You made Bertie skid across the road and my truck's got damaged," said Thomas. Percy was sorry. "I won't do it again," he wailed. "I promise." But the next day, Percy was bringing the milk train from the dairy. "I wish I could have one more loud whistle," he said to himself. He couldn't see any people or engines. But there was something else Percy couldn't see. Trevor the traction engine was taking food to the farm animals. With snow on the ground, they couldn't find any grass to eat. Percy took his biggest puff of all and blew. Trevor was so surprised his trailer bumped into a pile of logs. A log fell off and rolled down the hill. Snow stuck to the log. It turned into a snowball. The snowball got bigger and bigger. Percy was enjoying himself until he saw the snowball. "Oh, no!" cried Percy. Luckily, no one was hurt, but his driver was cross. "Now I will have to go for help," he said. Percy waited in the cold. His funnel was freezing and his axles were shivering. At last, Thomas arrived with the Fat Controller. He was very cross indeed. "Whistles are for safety," he told Percy, "not for playing games. You must only use your whistle when the time is right." "Yes, sir," shivered Percy, and he promised to use his whistle properly from now on. The next day, Percy was a very quiet engine indeed. He didn't use his whistle once. But as Percy came out of the tunnel, he gasped. A big snowdrift had slipped onto the tracks. Percy heard Thomas. He was heading straight for the snowdrift. If he did not stop in time, he would have an accident. "I must warn him," cried Percy. Percy took the biggest puff he had ever taken, and he blew the loudest whistle he had ever blown. "Something must be wrong," cried Thomas, and he applied his brakes just in time. "Cinders and ashes," he gasped. "Thank you, Percy." That evening, the Fat Controller came to the sheds. "Well done, Percy," he boomed. "You blew your whistle at the right time and saved Thomas from an accident. You are a really useful engine, and a safe one." Percy was so proud his firebox tingled. Percy uses his whistle safely now, and all his friends are glad to see him. The island of Sodor can be a noisy place full of all sorts of sounds. What sounds can you hear at Knapford Station? That doesn't sound right. That's more like it. So what was making the other sound? Yes, a herd of cows. Here's Harold the helicopter. What sound does Harold make when he flies? That doesn't sound right. That's what Harold sounds like. So what makes the other sound? It's a horse, of course. What sound does Thomas make? No, that's not it. Who's making that sound? A family of ducks. Now that's not a duck, or a horse, or a cow. It's one of our favourite sounds on the island of Sodor. It's Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody. All the engines on the island of Sodor look forward to Harvest Festival time. But most of all, they look forward to the Fat Controller's Harvest Firework Display. The Fat Controller came to see Thomas and James. James, you are to collect the fireworks from the depot. James was overjoyed. Thomas wasn't happy at all. But I wanted to collect the fireworks, Thomas pouted. The Fat Controller chose me because I'm as red as a rocket and twice as grand. James steamed proudly across the countryside. Brightest and best, brightest and best, he hummed happily to himself. He was having a wonderful day. Thomas was still upset when he arrived at the shunting yards. Bother James, he grouched, and he biffed the trucks crossly around the yard. When James arrived at the depot, he was very excited. The wagons were all ready for him, filled safely to the top with fireworks. James was coupled up with the precious cargo, and he steamed away. Thomas shunted the last truck crossly into place. The trucks were glad that job was finished. James happily steamed along. He was thinking about the fireworks. He was imagining all the sparkles, flashes, and shooting stars when suddenly James ground to a halt. I will have to go and call for help, said his driver. Thomas puffed back into Knapford Station as Gordon was letting off his passengers. Children and grown-ups from all over the island had come to see the fireworks. Seeing the children cheered Thomas up. But the Fat Controller looked concerned. James is broken down, he said. You must collect him, Thomas, and bring him back, or the firework display will be cancelled. Oh, no, cried Thomas. Then all the children will be sad. And he set off to collect James.